Alright guys, welcome to this video. I'm not so sure you're going to like this video because I may just dash your guys' collective dreams. All this because of one ultra special Washington quarter, and that's the 1976 dual date bicentennial quarter. In this video, I'm going to tell you why it's really not all that special, and why, while a lot of other people have made this the second coming of one of the most desirable coins in circulation, why it's really not all that in a bag of chips like some people have explained. We're going to really deep dive, and we're going to talk about not only the realized prices of these coins, because I have a lot of folks, I even talked about it briefly on a video last night, where someone had messaged me saying that they have a whole bunch of these bicentennial quarters and they're looking to cash in. And yeah, I think this is going to be more of a stark reality of this coin. And to help illustrate things, the mintage, it's huge. As a matter of fact, if I were to grab my Red Book price guide just so we could analyze the mintage figures, you're going to see that these things were produced in heavy numbers. Now, it's worth noting, in case you forgot, that the US Mint spent a good solid 3 years planning this bicentennial project. And that's the big reason why that there was never any quarter, half dollar, or Eisenhower dollar that's dated 1976. They just didn't exist. It took a small minter called Moonlight Mint to actually kind of, I don't know, create a 1975 Washington quarter. I think it's probably struck over a regular Washington quarter, to help realize what we did miss out on, But getting back to the Mint's project of the bicentennial quarter, it was so big and so important that they elected to take the very coins that they created with this amazing reverse. You had the dual dates on the front, 1776 to 1976, 200-year anniversary of probably the most recognized U.S. event in history. Yeah, the Red Book price guide tells no tales. Here are the mintages, respectively, of the Business Strike Philadelphia and Denver minted coins. We're going to start out with the P Mint Phillies. 809,784,016. That is no short number. That is quite high, considering that a 1977 Philadelphia coin, they made 468 million, which is nearly half of the production of the Philadelphia Bicentennial. Oh wait, there's more. If you thought that was high, check out the Denver minted coin. 860,118,839 total pieces were made. So between the two coins, over 16.5 billion of these quarters not only were produced, but eventually made it out into circulation. What's even crazier about this program is that there are not a whole lot of BU rolls out there. You would think for a coin that was heralded as being like this really big project, a lot of people are going to love it, and we do. Even to this day, I myself have a soft spot for this coin. But you need to realize that these things are about as common as a piece of hay that you can find out there in a farm field. So, which I would imagine is pretty common. But anyways, we're going to deep dive into what the coins are going for across various different types of listings, from raw singular coins to groups of coins. Hopefully we're going to see a few rolls of coins in there, and also graded pieces. As special as this coin is made out to be, and I'm going to put my name out there. I'm one of the people that have talked this coin up, primarily at the registry set level. There are a few pieces that are quite expensive, but it's going to be quite the challenge for you to replicate that particular feat. But there are going to be other ways where you can enjoy this particular coin, even at high grade levels. So we're going to take a look at all of this, and then we're going to assess at the very end, was it really worth it to save all those bicentennial quarters you found in circulation? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So we're on eBay right now. We're going to take a look at probably the first, like, maybe week's worth of market data, right? What kind of stuff are people selling and for how much? I think this is kind of like that information that you guys need to see visually to really kind of, assess of whether or not these coins are truly worth saving. All right, so one of the things here that came up is a full roll of 40 bicentennial quarters. They're all very well circulated. Keep in mind, a full roll is $10 face value. This particular lot right here, with the amount that it's sold for and shipping, you have to add shipping in there because that's the cost of ownership of any item that you buy online. All right, $17.99. So by the time you back away the shipping costs, which they only charge $3, I would imagine a full roll of these washed-in quarters is going to come in higher than that, probably more so $4.50 because of its weight. And then you got to figure in 13-14% for eBay's fees. And you're going to end up netting here right around $12, okay, which is not a lot. That's $2 over face value. Again, the question remains, is it worth it? All right. We have a few graded pieces that were sold here. Now, keep in mind, we're also going to discuss proof coins. We're going to talk about the 40% silvers in both the business and proof strikes as well, which were made available separately in its own kind of set, along with the $50 and the Eisenhower dollar, which, as you guys know, all three coins made the cut for the bicentennial retreatment. So we have a 1976 Proof 69 Deep Cambio PCGS graded coin. Check that out with shipping, $13.57 with 5 bids. All right. We're also going to look at pop figures because I think I owe it to you guys to see why a Proof 69 of one of the most popular collected coins today ended up only selling for $13.57. Does that mean that a Proof 70, which is a perfect grade in the Sheldon grading scale, could that be worth many thousands of dollars in proof? I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, that's pretty interesting there. $13.57. And it was organically bid up through a regular auction, 5 bids. All right. The next one that we have here are one of the silver mint state coins. Again, this was only available in the 3 coin set that you could have ordered from the U.S. Mint. It came with one of each of the quarter, $50, and the Eisenhower dollar. They're all 40% silver in composition. This one right here, folks, is a NGC Mid-State 67. Someone hit the buy it now button for $23.99. Generally, with the Mid-State silvers, the highest grade, well, I'll just leave that alone. I'm going to show that to you here on the population report on PCGS's website. So that way you guys understand that a 67 in a business strike coin for that silver is really not all that. All right. Now, this is kind of crazy. So you saw that one sold for $23.99. Look at this next one here. This is a ungraded version of that same coin we just looked at that ended up selling with shipping just over $19. So, there's not a whole heck of a lot of premium getting it graded because grading fees, you're going to have to, if you did not submit a bulk submission, which is 100 coins or more through either PCGS or NGC, then you're going to have to pay the standard rate, which comes out to 20 some odd dollars. Again, the math doesn't quite add up. If you ended up with one of these coins that you've held on to for a while and you're thinking to yourself, man, these things are really awesome, I'm going to go ahead and send this one in without really any expectations other than the fact that you want to sell it after it's come back from the grading company, you're going to look at things like this and ultimately come to the conclusion, well, it's really not all that worth it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and skip kind of like the post-mint manufactured, specialty coins. They're created by third-party companies. They'll add ruthenium and they'll gold plate them and things like that. We're not going to look at those because those are technically damaged coins, and the people that do want them as a novelty, right? And then there are folks that sell coins with little minor errors on them. Now, the one place of opportunity for the bicentennial quarters, like I've mentioned, is mint errors, because mint errors sell for a ton of money on these coins. All right, I'm not going to get into that today. Feel free to do some research either on like greatcollections.com, Heritage Auctions, or even eBay to get kind of an idea of what like a sheet clip is worth, a cut die break, off center struck, broad strike of these coins, and you're going to see that they sell for a lot of money. All right, that's kind of like the one area where these coins really do shine is in the U.S. mint error kind of category for these. All right, so this one shows heavy errors. I don't know what heavy errors is. There's really no such thing as heavy errors. It says no mint mark because it was produced in Philadelphia. All right, the Philadelphia coins do not have an actual physical mint mark. But in any event, you can't really, shy away from the $20.50 sale with 7 bids, which is quite a bit for just a raw, out of circulation coin. And it looks to be in pretty decent shape. All right, so we looked at that silver uncirculated bicentennial quarter, right? The one that graded mid-state 67 that sold for $23.99. Well, take a look at this one. Mid-state 68 through PCGS, one higher grade. And look at that, it only managed to squeak by about $65 with shipping. Huh. That's not really a whole lot, and 68 is a huge grade in that coin. All right, so yeah, what happened to the coins that are worth two, three, $5,000, $10,000? We're simply not seeing it here on a mid-state 68. And then you're going to see that singular coins, they go for a buck or two. This one right here, which is a 40% silver. Oh, they're like, oh, it's sold for 99 cents. That's a really good deal. But look at the shipping, guys. They're paying $6 for the coin. You could go to a coin shop right now and pay about $4 for an example of that quarter. Here's just a regular circulated coin that's sold for $1.77 or whatever it is. It shows uncirculated. Here's a 1976D Bicentennial uncirculated quarters 40 coin roll from mint sets. So what they did was they broke mint sets up, they put them into a roll, and then sold it for $28.95, which is almost 3 times the money. But we're talking about a full roll of what we speculate to be BU coins from mint sets, and they're all Denver strikes. So that doesn't seem like a whole lot of money for a bunch of BU coins in a roll. All right, some would say, well, if this coin was really that special, then a full BU roll would be about $100 or higher. It's simply not the case here, guys. So for those of you that are saving all of your worn, circulated bicentennial quarters right out of circulation, thinking that you could assemble full rolls and sell them for 3 to 5x, we're not seeing that here. So I probably wouldn't do it unless you're a huge fan of the quarter, right? Collect however you want to collect, but when it comes to the actual reselling and liquidation part of it, where you want to make it a business or kind of make it a side hustle to make extra money, this, ladies and gentlemen, is all kind of smoke and mirrors. Okay, the market is a lot differently today than it was 20 years ago. BU rolls might have commanded a little bit more money back then because there truly was original bank wrap rolls of these quarters that existed 20 years ago compared to today, where a lot of them have been gone through, they've been cherry picked for, registry set, premier, top tier kind of coins, or possibly some of the 2 main doubled dies that you can be found on the Denver minted coins. There's a few things there at work. Here's a 3 coin set of each one of the Bicentennial quarters, half dollar, and Ike dollar, all grading Proof 68 Ultra Cameo that sold for $99. Again, if these were really that special, why did this only sell for $100? Granted, Proof 68 is not the most fantastic grade for a proof coin, but still mighty impressive in how it looks. Here's our first 40% silver proof. This one ended up selling for just over almost $18, it looks like. So that's not bad. People do love the silver 40 percenters, all right, in proof finish. And I would speculate that this coin right here looks equally good in a perfect 70 in a holder. So we'll see that here momentarily. But as you can see, the prices on these individually, I mean, you could try selling them, individually. You might be able to earn a little bit of extra money here doing that, but your profit is only going to end up being, what, $3, $4 each if you're selling them at $6, $7 per coin. Again, it's not great, but to some people they're okay with it. Probably one of the more impressive sales I've seen, and that says a lot. 5 full rolls of 1976 Bicentennial quarters, circulated, nicer coins. I mean, they're nicer if they don't have corrosion or paint on them. All right, $85 shipped, mind you. So 5 rolls of quarters, it's pretty heavy. You're gonna have to probably end up paying anywhere from $8 to $10 to ship those out. Because of the quantity and the weight. But that is 200 Bicentennial quarters. $50 face value, and probably after it's all said and done, they maybe profited, I don't know, $20 to $23, somewhere around there. So that's been the best ones thus far. Here's another one here. 3 rolls for $57. I mean, it's okay. There's a little money made there. But yeah, I mean, nothing really too impressive, right? There's even some funky specialty slabs. This one's the 2018 World's Fair Money slabbed silver, $56 with 13 bids. It's like this coin right here, 1975, the lost year. Again, the 1975 proof sets, they didn't have 1975 dated coins. They put the bicentennials in there, but check out that grade. It's like one of 3 or 4 graded a perfect 70, and I own one of them. And this is staying at my PC. This is going nowhere. But pretty cool. I mean, something like that might be about $150 to $200 because of the unique nature of the label. All right. But again, are we talking about the coin and buying the coin and not the graded slab and label? Sure. And some circumstances, that's even more important than an actual graded part of it. But when you talk to people that collect strictly on registry and they want the top grade of each coin, the grade really does matter, and so does that holder. But you can see, again, there's a balance here because you have such high mintages, and not only that, the mintages are quite high on the proof coins as well for what they are. But you have such huge mintages on these quarters that it's kept it affordable over the years, in any variation of that. So, it's a low dollar kind of like, I'm not going to say it's the easiest thing to sell if you were going to put these online and decide to make a business out of it. There's probably other things that I would personally do to make more money than to, hawk bicentennial quarters. But you guys get the big picture there. All right, so let's talk a little bit about PCGS pop quantity. All right, so let's go ahead and take a quick look at the proof quarters first, and then we'll double back and look at the mid-state versions as well. So here are the proof clad. So this is copper nickel. So you got regular, cameo, and deep cameo. Believe it or not, they made some of these without any cameo frost whatsoever, which is crazy. A lot of them have frost, and it's actually more rare to find them without it. So the fact that there's 465 of them that were graded by PCGS without any cameo, that's not easy. All right. And then you have a separate line for cameo, but the big one that a lot of collectors want to own, I guess, is going to be the deep cameo. You could see the just a huge difference here between Proof 69 and 70 deep cameo. I mean, look, 69, there's 25,090 coins that were graded by PCGS that graded that 69 grade. But 70 is not a small number either. Look at that, 783 total coins graded a perfect 70. Now, in a way, it doesn't seem like a whole lot, but at the same time, it's an enormous number for a perfect 70 grade, right? And with proof, that's kind of to be expected. Here's also the proof silvers. As you can see, the numbers are even more crazy here. Look at the deep cameo line going all the way across. In 69, there are 32,880 total coins graded in a perfect 69 deep cameo of the 40% silver. And then the 70 in silver is 1,361. All right, that is over 500 more than the clad version in a perfect 70. Yet, when we're about ready to look at some auction prices on Great Collection, you're going to find that the 70 silver proofs actually sell more than the clad versions of the same grade. So, yeah, call me crazy, but that's crazy. Let's go ahead and take a look at the mid-state versions of the 76. This one's going to be quite interesting. I think you're going to kind of like the information that we have there on that one. So it's going to be on page 2 here. By the way, really easy to navigate through PCGS's website. I think I'm going to have to go all the way down to right here. Okay, so Type 3 clad, Bicentennial reverse, mid-state. So this is PCGS, right? Not NGC. So we're going to see some differences here. So in the 76 Philadelphia, take a look at this. There are only one example graded at what they believe is the finest grade of that particular coin, mid-state 68. All right. But at the same token, the Denver Mint is 11. All right. So Denver minted coins have a little bit better quality, and that's why that has a much higher edge of number at the highest grade level. As you can see, there are no 69s or 70s. Circulation, business strike coins are simply just not built to the same standard as the proof coins, even though they've dedicated a lot of time and effort into making this 1 year shot series a dynamite hit. All right, so that's what the business strike coins look like. Again, your big price coins are going to be 68s, PCGS holders. And here's silver. No surprise here. The highest grade is 69. There are no 70s currently known of either the. There's actually a deep cameo business strike silver, which is crazy, in which there is only one example of that grade. I can only imagine that that is an insanely valuable, very expensive coin because it's probably a PL type designation there. But the highest grade, bar none, is a 69, in which there are only 6 examples in that grade. But take a look at 68. Over 1,900 of them made it in a 68. So the difference, as someone asked, what's the difference between a 68 and 69? Part of it could be strike. There could be an errant planchet nick on a cheek or in the hair or somewhere there that you would see on the 68, but not necessarily in a 69. Maybe there might be a tiny little rim ding on the rim. That might also be the determining factor between one and the other. I mean, we're talking about, at the very top, we're talking about fine details. Okay, and a perfect 70, we all know that it has no blemishes whatsoever, which can be a little bit tough on these uncirculated coins. So that is the PCGS Pops. Here's a few great collection sales. And you're going to see kind of like a wide range through here because I just typed in 1976. So we're going to see proofs, we're going to see silvers, we're going to see clad business strike coins. But guys, like I had mentioned, all right, we're not seeing these coins that sell for many thousands of dollars. We're going to go through the first page here, and this is the most recent sale, which is this quarter, which is a perfect proof 70 deep cameo that ended up selling for $78.34. All right, this is a clad version too, copper nickel. So you can see that if you wanted a perfect 70 of this quarter, even though it's a proof, and we love proofs, I love proof coins, that'd be kind of like a great little keepsake for your collection, but it's not going to make you rich. It doesn't. So if you have these quarters and you end up sending them off to PCGS, and a couple of them came back 70, keep in mind that they are not going to make you rich. All right. It's just really underwhelming because the pop figures are so high in them. So that's the most recent sale from October 22nd. But here's a silver and a 64. That's a downer, $4. I mean, that's a pretty weak grade there. Here's another perfect 70, but this time a silver, $120. Figure we'd show you that one. There's an artificially toned one, which actually sold for more than the one that graded 64. Here's our first business strike. This is a silver 76S in a 67. It only sold for $22. Here's another silver proof 70 deep cameo, 105. 125 for the same coin. Here's a clad 70 for 82. So you're going to have to go down to, either the silver NGC 68 Plus. That's almost $300. Here's our first clad business strike non-silver. That is a mid-state 67 Plus. And keep in mind, 67 Plus is not the finest grade. But how about $783 on September 24th? That's a heck of a safety net there. If you by some chance that you did not hit the top grade, but you ended up half a point grade lower, that's still a great consolation prize there. But still, it's $783. It's not $2,000, right? You would actually have to go almost all the way down, I believe, to find a coin that's worth kind of mentioning in this conversation. And let's see here. There it is. So we have a pair of them. We have one of the big varieties. There are two recognized Cherry Pickers Guide varieties on the Denver Mint coins. And if you're able to hit them in some of the higher grades, either the FS 101, which is a very impressive double to die obverse, or the FS 102, which is not impressive, but it is generally more scarce, that's a huge dollar find. So this one graded by PCGS as a 67 sold for $1,700, and they even put a note in there, tied with just one other as the finest graded by PCGS. Here's also a 68, which is one of, this is NGC. I'm not going to say that, but NGC Mid-State 68, $1,600, which is a pretty big sale. So I'm going to scroll all the way back to the top, and I want to explore the most valuable of them all over the last 5 to 10 years. So we're going to do highest first price-wise and see what the highest price values have been on this quarter. So it's going to take a second. It's going to still take multiple seconds. There you go. So there's the perfect graded 76S silver. This is the Business Strike Silver in Mid-State 69. This was actually a sale from October 10th, 2021. $6,550. So that's not a regular Business Strike coin. That's clad, right? That's a specialty out of the 3-coin set issue. And then there's another one right before that that sold April 25th, 2021 for $5,250. Here's our first major clad example. This is a clad Philly in Mid-State 68 by PCGS, $4,433.99. And then here's our finest graded Denver clad in Mid-State 68, $4,402. And that, ladies and gentlemen, Oh, by the way, that's May 30th, 2021. So a couple years ago, the Philadelphia clad was from June of this year. So that's a very recent sale. And I believe that's the one that's like, what, Pop for the clad? Pop 1. That's the Soul Finest. That sold for $4,433.99. You know, which is crazy because it's the only one known. It only managed to scoop in $4,400. You'd figure it'd be a $10,000 coin all day long, but you can see here that because of the high mintages, it has in a way suppressed the overall value of the coin, not only in bulk level, but also at the very top. You know, these prices are pretty nice and they're, you know, generous, but I've seen a lot better. There are other dates of quarters that have sold in that $10,000 and more price tag. Like why do early '60s silver 90% quarters in a specific grade sell for $8,000 to $10,000? You know, they're not at all spectacular. They're minted into oblivion, but not as oblivion like as the Bicentennial quarters were. So I don't know. I mean, you know, it's a kind of an interesting conversation, but you guys get the big picture. I hope you guys get the big picture. Again, grade responsibly. That's going to be kind of like the big tip that I can give you for the time being, especially if you're new. If you don't quite understand the grading processes, because beyond mid state 65, that top 5 points right there, that's going to really test your mettle as a personal grader. Because if you're not hard on yourself at the grading process beyond mid state 65, you're not going to have any shot whatsoever at hitting a 68, 69, or 70. All right. It's just, even I have a hard time with that. And I've been doing this for over 25 years. So there you go. That's the Bicentennial kind of quarter in its own box. It was a 32-minute box, and I do apologize about that. But you guys needed to have the full amount of information so that way you're aware that you don't have to hoard these. But please do look out for the doubled die obverses on the Denver minted coins, because that's where a lot of your money's going to be. And look out for those mint errors too. You know, strike throughs, cut die breaks, which there are a few, die cracks of any sort, especially major ones, die chips, things like that, clips, off-center strikes, broad strikes, you name it. Those sell for quite a bit more than what a regular quarter does. So there you go. That's going to go ahead and wrap things up for this one. Sorry to take all of your time. I'm your host, Sean, with BlueRidgeSilverhound. I want you guys to have a fantastic day. Enjoy the hobby at the very base level of the whole thing, and you're going to have a whole lot more fun, you know, with coin collecting and paper money collecting and everything like that. So you guys have fun. Would love to hear your thoughts. You guys have a wonderful day. And I'll see you on the next coin video. So long.